network slicing. Okay, so I'm just picking up few terminologies which are kind of need to know, right? Must know. If you're talking to somebody about 5G, right? These are the key terminologies that it is good to know. Okay, there's something called as network slicing. So what is the meaning of network slicing? It can be defined as a network configuration where you allow multiple networks. Okay, it is connected to various applications. So if you look at this picture, okay, just look at this picture here. So you have mobile broadband, which is your EMBB kind of case. This is machine to machine. Let's say this is your MMTC or URLLC kind of scenario. This is reliable low latency. This is your URLLC case. This is some other case. Okay, now this is your 5G network, and let's say these are the applications. Okay, these are the applications. What do I mean by applications is, what do you use 5G for? So you're using 5G for some communication, some entertainment, internet, retail, shipping, manufacturing. Okay, these are the different applications, and these are the 3 pillars of 5G. Now, in previous networks, like if you take 4G or 3G, what happened is this network used to be common irrespective of what you are using on the left or the right. That means the network operator used to assign a certain bandwidth or certain resources in the network irrespective of the application. Okay, so let me give you a real example, right? Let's say you are just browsing internet, right? Let's say you are reading an online newspaper. What do you think will be the data rate that is required compared to, say, making a video call or watching movie, right? So if you think about it, if you're just browsing internet or if you're reading a newspaper, the data requirement is very low compared to watching an online video or playing an online game or doing a video call, right? So that differentiation in the network was not clearly defined. Okay, saying that, okay, this is a low data rate application and its quality requirements are very different compared to, let's say, an online video. When you're watching an online video, obviously you don't want lag, right? You're watching a video, you don't want it to buffer, right? That's a requirement. But when you're reading a newspaper, it doesn't matter even if it loads a little bit later, right? Because you're reading text mostly. So these are different applications with different quality requirements. So in 5G, what they did was they did something called as network slicing, where they said that, okay, for different applications, we will give different slices of network. That means different pieces of network with different quality requirements. Okay, so these are called as virtual end-to-end networks. So that means you are not physically separating it out. You're not taking a network and making slices of it. It is a virtual slicing. Virtual slicing means within the physical infrastructure, you are virtually separating the network for different application requirements. This is a very important concept. This is a very important concept in 5G, which is called as network slicing. So remember that physically you are not separating things. Physically it's the same network, but virtually you are assigning separate pipes for different communication. So this is a pipe only for EMBB. This is a pipe only for massive mission type communication. This is a pipe only for mission critical IoT. This is for something else, right? This is how you make slices in the network.
I want to ask about the energy consumption. Let's say I'm using mobile phone, and what would be the kind of energy battery would be used for this, or in case of machine to machine or other cases, is it more?
Okay, so one thing what I want to say here is, right, so as a general mobile phone user, so one thing is in 5G, right, it is the application is not only for mobile phones. Okay, so if you're talking about machine to machine and ultra reliable low latency, this is not for mobile phones. So this is mostly, you see the picture here, right? This is mostly for industry or for autonomous driving, driverless cars, those kind of things. So on the mobile phone, you may not really have these kind of features at all. You'll be only focusing on EMBB on your mobile phone.
Okay.
So sir, the 5G core network will not be deployed in near future in India?
You mean the essay, right? Standalone.
Yeah.
They may do it like how I told you, right? It is expensive for the operators, so they have to see a business case. They need to see whether they can, is it really required? Like let's say they do a standalone, right? That means they have to change the complete network into a standalone pure 5G, and they have to see that, okay, who is going to pay for that?
Okay.
Sir, how are the application? How is 5G going to understand that which application requires which network slicing? How is it going to recognize?
Okay, there is something called as network orchestration. That means you know this orchestra, right? Orchestra where there is a person who says that, okay, you play this drum, you play this instrument, and the singer will sing and all that. Similarly, there is some kind of an orchestration that happens in 5G also. So at the network level, like at the core network level, that decides saying that, okay, for this application we assign this particular slice.
And the separate pipe is given.
Yes.
So how are we, virtually separating the things?
Okay, so imagine that you have one let's say one bigger pipe, right? Where previously, let's say even if I want to read a newspaper, right, that pipe size used to be, let's say, same. Okay, while I didn't have that much data to send over that pipe. When we talk about pipe, right, in terms of virtual, let's say it's only a software part of it, right? I don't have to allocate this much of software resources to reading a newspaper compared to watching a online movie.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So now it is intelligently saying that, okay, reading a newspaper requires very less data rate. It doesn't require, it need not be that low latency, some kind of delays, okay, and all that. But if you're watching a movie, right, then suddenly they say that, okay, this has a separate requirement. The buffering should not be there. That means the latency has to be very low and all that. So those conditions are now clearly defined. So whenever there is an application, a user is requesting resources to watch a video, suddenly the network says that, okay, now we will set these particular SLAs, right, or KPIs, service level agreement or key performance indicators. So they say that, okay, these are the rules and it has to meet this criteria. So that's why it is all virtual. The pipe still remains the same, but how you allocate space within that pipe, that has changed.
Okay. So basically it is application based bandwidth allocation.
Yeah,
right,
not only bandwidth, but other things also, like power also, time also, right, and latency, reliability, right? Everything is application based now.
Okay.
So that level of detailing was not there in previous technologies.
Okay, thank you so much.
So I'm the founder of company DTRI. So it's an upskills company where we do embedded systems, IoT and 5G technology certification programs. And we also do placement for engineering students. So you can contact us. So there is a website that you can visit, dtri.in. You can also connect through, you can send me an email, or you can also send WhatsApp message on this number if you have any questions. So please join our LinkedIn group. So you can type Deshila Technology Research Institute on LinkedIn, and you can join our page there. And you can also ask questions there, and also about any new events that we are conducting. So we frequently update this page with our events. And just to give you a quick glimpse of what we are doing in terms of research. So so we are based out of Mysore in Karnataka, and we have our own 5G test bed. So this is the picture of 5G test bed, which is used for education purpose. So if you see here, I've written the use cases. So we use it for EMBB focused configuration, some kind of testing and all that, mainly used for education and research. And we have collaborated with the Institute of Science, Bangalore. Department of Science and Technology has funded this program, and we are based at